Okay. That was Croatian music, Croatian folk music. Kind of reminded me when we were in Ireland. And I have to tell you guys, so today I took my daughter to a Reiki session with a woman that I admire and I trust and I adore. And I wanted her to help my daughter with her anxiety. And it was a phenomenal experience. I got to sit in the corner and be a part of it and watch. And it was so, so cool. And one of the things I really wanted to work on for my daughter was the fact that she's leaving for Miami in 2 days to go on a tour campus with her boyfriend and his mom. And I just really didn't want her to have any kind of anxiety attacks while she was there. So that's why I set the appointment. I wanted to make sure she was in like the right headspace. And do you know what she did with Savannah at the end of the session? She did visualization with her. And she talked about the power of visualization. And I think that is something we really need to work on more of. And especially when we think about this trip of Croatia, there was a time when I would have been, the person I would have been was, I'll try. I don't know who all on this Zoom was on the last Zoom, but Tara Wilson talked about the fact that there are 4 kinds of people. And I would have been the one that said, well, I'll try for it. The 4 are, one is it's too hard, I'm not even going to try. The other one is I'll try. Number 3 is I'll do my best, but if something else comes up and trumps it, then it'll be easy to put it to the wayside. And then the 4th person is I'll do whatever it takes. And I used to be that person that would say, I'll try. And if it got to the point where I was getting like too many no's, I would disregard it very quickly. And I would say, it's okay if I don't go. Like, I'll go someday when I can afford it. I don't need to go right now. And I don't want you to have that thought process. I want you to believe you'll be in Croatia. I want you to listen to the cool folk music while you cook in the kitchen. I want you to listen to it while you're on a walk. I want you to imagine yourself buying some really cute, new, fun outfits because you are going to Croatia with your team. I want you to imagine yourself sitting at a little cafe on those ridges that we see all over Google when you look up Croatia, and you're looking out into the sea and you've got like your legs crossed and you're just like, it's not a cigarette, but it's a little teacup, and you're just sipping on like the local drink. You're smelling the sea and you're eating this cuisine that is so new to you, but it tastes so good. And the people are dressed differently and they're so happy because you're a part of their culture and you get to experience it. Like, I want you to see all of that. I want you to be in Croatia and blow your own mind that you made it happen. It's Croatia. Like, it's crazy that we even have the opportunity to go there. So please visualize that. Now, I'm going to go over it one more time because was everybody on the pose call? Okay. Do you need me to go over again the qualifications? You can find them on your website. It's very important, though, that you know with a surety how you get them. Like, I would get a whiteboard. I would write on the whiteboard how you get the points, right? What activities will get me the points? A really big one for the easy points is make sure you register for every single event. LVAs, most of us don't have one that we can go to in person, but we can do it virtually. So you better register and get those points. Elite Academy in February, Global Convention in Phoenix. Like, put those in your calendar and make those a priority. But the other big one is finding your baseline. If you have trouble finding your baseline from June, July, and August, let me know. But again, it's just simply by going to the new member summary in the lower, I'm going to show you one more time because this is like the most important thing in getting us those extra points. So you go, your member summary is over on the little right-hand corner. It's this little guy down here. And when you click on this little computer, you'll always know if something like is a hyperlink or leads to something else if you have the little, if that little hand shows up. So I'm going to click on that little hand. And then up here on the right, I have the ability to look at prior months. So I want to look up June, July, and August. So I'll go to June 1st. And when I go to June, it's going to bring up all the enrollments that happened in my business. Now, if I click on enroller name, it's going to alphabetize all the names. So that's how you're going to find your name easily. So then I'm going to find my name, and then I'm going to add up my enrollments for that month. Then I'm going to do the same for July. I'm going to alphabetize by my name. Whoops. And then I'll find my name. That. So then when I find all of them, I'm going to add up those 3 months, June, July, and August, and then simply divide it by 3. That is your baseline number, okay? So for every month that you enroll over that number, let's say it's 2, your average for June, July, and August was 2 enrollments. That includes customers and distributors. So in September or in October, let's say you do 3, you get a point because you went over your baseline, okay? In November, if you got 4, you get a point for going over your baseline of 2, plus you get an extra 5 points because you beat the prior month, okay? So for every month you go over the prior month, you get an additional 5 points. Make sense? Now, someone had a question on the One Person Big Difference Zoom about what if you have like a break. So let's say in November, you don't beat it, but then in December, you do beat it. Do you still get the 5 points? I have asked my account rep that, and I'll make sure that everybody gets that answer. I don't know it quite yet, but knowing that baseline will be vital. And then again, it just comes down to doing the activities. So really making sure that no matter what, you're finding ways to reach out to people, go back to your old database and continue to funnel and fill your new database. So what I want to do now is we had the event of Global Convention this last weekend, and we had 3 new people that got to experience it. And I got to tell you guys, I know you guys tuned in virtually as well. It was such a beautiful event. Those of us that were blessed to be there in person, it was perfect. It was so perfect. Like we laughed, we cried, we danced till we closed the place down. Like we ate good food. I learned how to play shuffleboard because of Jen Dykstra. Like it was just, we had so much fun. It was so much fun, and I cannot wait to do it again. So we're going to have 3 people share that. 4 people actually. I have 4 people lined up to share, but I'm going to start with Cindy because she just was bold and shared on the One Person Big Difference call. I couldn't have you all share because we had a lot of people on there, but Cindy, I would love for you again just to share with the group. Cindy enrolled you guys September 16th. She went to the Pro 10 tour that was here locally. Marcy Gainier enrolled her, and this was her first event. So Cindy, I would just love for you to talk about like how you felt going into it, and then how you felt like walking away from it. What really stuck with you?
Okay, that's a curveball. Okay, so walking into it, I think I've been to things like this before, so I kind of, had an idea of how things would go and kind of the ins and outs. But I definitely didn't expect the amount of fun, like the whole thing. You just didn't want to miss anything into the night. Like it was just so fun. And it was encouraging to come home and talk to my husband about it and saying like, it was so fun to see couples there, but I just couldn't see him doing that. But he said, he was like, no, it sounds fun, but he would have to have some downtime. So anyways, I just thought it was so neat that he was even, just that I could come home and I was still just excited. It was just so much fun. I couldn't believe the amount of music and the lights and how they just had, they'd had us get up and dance around. You just don't lose people when you have them moving too, instead of just having them sit all day and listen. So yeah, I guess that's all I have to say.
I love it. And I love your heart. You guys, Cindy's brand new and she volunteered to drive. She filled her minivan to get people down there. She volunteered to take people to the airport. She took Crystal to the airport that morning. Thankfully, Crystal wasn't on Southwest. And then we had someone from Maria's team that wanted to go with us to the Rye Fry party, and Cindy didn't hesitate. Like, she let her in her van and she drove with us to the Rye Fry party too. So you were just a joy to be around. I'm so proud of you for going and so grateful you're a part of the team. So awesome. Okay, I'm going to go over to Dot Stark. Dot Stark, this was her first event like ever with the network marketing arena. So Dot, I would love for you to share with everybody just kind of what you thought it might be like going into it, and then what you got out of it leaving from it.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. Sorry. My crazy dog keeps walking in and walking out, and he's doing weird things. So I apologize. I'm afraid he's going to puke or poop. So if I have to run, don't take it personally.
Okay.
I had a lot of emotions, like Cindy said. I cried. I laughed a lot. The people I drove with there and back were a complete joy. And I roomed with two people I didn't know at all. So that was like a complete step out of my comfort zone on that one. But they were amazing and super fun. So that made it a great journey. Same thing Cindy said, walking into the forum or the area where we attended, it was full of energy, and they really made it about us as the distributors. They made it about being accessible. Like, I just really noticed that the executives, higher distributors, elites, they were completely accessible. You could go ask them questions, you could go talk to them, and they were all very humble and gracious and kind. And it was just amazing. Not what I had expected. I kind of felt like there might be like high school where people go into their corners and the popular people, you know what I mean? But it was not like that at all. It was very inclusive, for sure. And just learned that also that everybody's in their head. So if you think that you're not in your head and you're doubting yourself, know that everybody else is doing the same thing. But the cool thing is there's a whole team of people to say, Dot, get out of your stupid head and go act, go take that step, do your chicken list, do whatever you need. There's a crew of people to help you. Even, Michelle Poe, Maria Williams, Jamie Dickey. I mean, those people will help you. So don't feel like you can't reach out to them. Of course, we probably want to go through Tanya first, but if Tanya can't help us, we can go on and Tanya will still love us. So
I will still love you.
Yeah, I'm a military person, so there's that whole chain of command. So that was in my head too. But I really grasped that there's a bazillion people to reach out to that can help you. And if you want to know how something's done a little different with somebody else, they will connect with you and help you. So,
love it.
I got.
Yeah, it's so true. And I mean, find the person you resonate with the most and make yourself known to them. We've learned that kind of in the 10X training, find the mentors that speak to you, that have a story like yours, make yourself known, create that relationship. And if that's someone that you resonate with more than me, like, there's no offense taken. We want whatever is best for you in your journey to grow you along the way. Cindy, I appreciate the fact that you found out that the language in Croatia is Serbo-Croatian, and it's used by the Croats. That's crazy. They call themselves the Croats. I wonder if that's how they say it too. I love it.
Oh, Google.
And I said Croatia. So if you weren't on the last call, you guys, what do we do when I say the word Croatia? You type in the chat, I will be in Croatia. I want you to ingrain it in your mind like it's going to become a tattoo. You're opening a new pathway that says, I will, I can, I'm going to do whatever it takes. That's what we want. Okay. So now we're going to go to Rosalie. She already unmuted herself. Way to go, girl. Rosalie went to the event as well. And like Dot, I think this was like her first time for an event like this ever within the network marketing arena. So I know that you've kind of prepared what you want to share, Rosalie. So I'm so proud of you for going. And I just love that you had such a great time. And I saw your emotion through it as well. So share with us your takeaways, darling.
Hi, everyone. Well, I think for me, and kind of cool how Dot ended hers. I'm also military, and for me, leadership's a big thing. And the way that it started with Carrie, and then Carrie makes a comment in the luncheon about how the board spoke to all of us and where they're at and their hearts, and how I think that was the biggest thing for me. And Steve Fife, I just think is like the coolest guy. And we got only had a couple songs. He was kind of all right walking out, but just to be, to have from the fun. My internet connection's unstable. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can now.
Okay.
It's a little shaky, but it's coming a little clearer.
Okay, so I just really, from Steve to you, Tanya, and your heart, I really enjoyed the luncheons. That this is scary, but it's not, because when you look at all of you in the boxes that I'm sharing this with, but to know when there are people to be right there with you to pick you up. How Michelle approached you and just hugged on you, Tanya, when you shared some of your feelings in that luncheon. And then Michelle, Maria, Stu, how cool. I mean, I think I've met him once at the last Global. That was that when we watched it virtual, but to just hear his story and to be in an environment with all the leadership. So I think just for me, seeing the people at the top, that they're just as real and as me, and maybe where I was at, knowing that they are right there for you, and Michelle is always, I had never met her in person, which was kind of cool. She's just always there for a hug and you got it, girls, or whatever it is. So I mean, and then just all of you to be a part of this team is exciting, from the ride down to everything. Yeah, I know I'm quiet and can be a little timid and way emotional. I don't even know why I put makeup on, but I really had a good time. And for me, the leadership piece from you, Tanya, to even to my support, my Jen, who's introduced me, to even Dot holding me, pushing me out of my comfort zone to meet people, because I'm like what they said on that one gal said on the introverted extrovert. Once I get out there, I'm okay. But that's kind of what my takeaway was, and I just really enjoyed it. So
I love it. So proud of you. That was a great share. Thank you for sharing. And I'm really proud of you too I think that's a big part of what events are for, you guys, is when you go into it, telling yourself, I'm going to do a few things that make me feel uncomfortable, because that's how we grow. It's doing the things that will stretch us a little bit. And I know that there were some people on the dance floor that night, even that was a little uncomfortable, but man, when you're there and you're with people from Life Vantage, like it just doesn't matter, because like Cindy's or Dot said, even everybody's in their own head anyway. Everybody's thinking the same darn thing. So why not just set yourself free and go crazy? And the other thing was too, I loved watching all of you that were there in person, just networking. Like, I feel like every time I turned around, you guys were just unafraid to talk to someone new. Jen Dykstra was always with someone new. Laura was always with someone different. I just thought it was phenomenal. So I'm really proud of you guys for that. So I also asked Crystal to share, you guys, because Crystal, I just want you to share with everybody, like when you got in, just a little bit of your story, I think is important. Like when you got in and what it was like for you at that time, like when you attended events and how this experience was different.
Yeah. So I got in, I think 2014, and it honestly, I got in with drama. It was drama from like me just getting in. And so the events, they're always so good. Like honestly, they're so high energy and they're good. But everybody kind of has their group, like everybody kind of did, like they were with their group and they did their thing. And it's like I was kind of struggling, like, who am I going to go with? Like, who can I keep up with? Like, trying to find somebody or ending up by myself and figuring out what I'm going to do. And this event wasn't like that. Like everybody was together and everybody was so welcoming and just amazing. And like I'm a little shy, so it was a little bit of a concern, but I was like, I'm just going to be positive about it. I prayed about it, all the things. But like everybody was just so awesome, and like we just all did everything together, and we were happy to do everything together, and we just went with the flow, and it was so cool just having feeling like a part of the team, feeling like a part of the family, and like that was like the best thing for me. I think that's what you asked, right? Did you ask something else?
No, I love that. Just the feeling of feeling connected. That's a big part of it, right? Is
Yeah.
how many times did we hear them talk about community and how much people need community? And it would really suck for someone to come to an event like this and not feel a part of the community. Like that would break my heart. And I have to believe that everybody walked away really feeling a part of something special this weekend. Just it started with corporate and it went on down. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, Crystal. I'm so happy that you went and made it in person. That was a big trip for you from Florida. So good for you. Does anybody else that was there or anybody that watched virtually want to share like a top takeaway from the weekend? Anybody?
For
Marcy?
me, one of the biggest takeaways was the connection within our team, for sure, but also, and I wrote it in the chat, the connection going across lines. And I absolutely loved, and I didn't know if it was because in person was what, 2,000 people met?
About.
But I saw more of the elites mingling than I did on any other global. And when you have like higher ups that are, tearing up because they miss the in-person interaction, like I think that's one thing that COVID taught was, and being locked down, was that we took that piece for granted. And so I think that's why this one was so much more powerful for me anyway. It was just awesome to see. And it was so fun.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't laughed like that in a long time.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Marcy. Anybody else before I move on?
Can I share?
Yeah, go ahead, Cindy.
Just to reiterate, I love that it was a personal challenge to just be better, not just a better selves or better at the company. It was all about personal growth and strength. That was huge to me.
Yeah.
And of course it was amazing. I cannot imagine, like, I'm not pessimistic. So I didn't even anticipate like problems with whatever, the drive or the roommates or anything, but it was like beyond, every detail was amazing. The ladies, the food, when it finally came, the whole thing was good.
I love it. Thank you. Jen, were you going to say something? Then we'll go to you, Colleen.
My favorite thing, I think, was just like understanding the humility of the corporate staff and how much for them it's when they say that it's truly about the distributors and it's truly about our customers, you can hear it in their voice and you can see it in the emotion that they have. There's no other corporate staff that I've ever been, and I'm only part of Wells Fargo, but we've gone through a few of those people. But like, there aren't corporate staff people that lead like they lead and that truly have a heart to serve, and not, yes, they want it to grow, and yes, they want all of those things to happen, but they want it not for themselves, they want it for all of us. And that is not something that you get at a corporate event usually. And so just from that, in terms of like having fun, doing the little things, you can tell that, just like Tanya was talking about the visualization, they've done that already through the little things, and they brought that all the way through. You can kind of hear just in their language and their rhetoric when they would talk, it's part of who they are, and they know that those little things help each person. And that, I think that really goes back to, it's not just about the elites, but when they mean the little things, they mean all of the people that we bring in, that are customers, that are pro ones, that are pro twos, that are pro threes. And it is truly the little things and the little things that we do that make a big, big difference. So I think that they know that it's truly about all of the people, not just the elites doing all that they need to do. And you don't get that anywhere else.
I agree. When we were at Rye Fry's party at Top Golf, Jen Pensinger went over and she saw Steve Fife, and she walks over there, and I think Jen would have been happy with just, getting the picture, and that was it. But he just like leaned in and he was like, "What's your name?" Like, he wanted to really hear her name, and he didn't want just the picture. Like, he wanted to talk to her. And Crystal, you were the one that told me too, like, you felt with corporate staff versus when you were in before versus this time, you were the one that said you felt an alignment, and it just had a different vibe as a company. And when I told Steve that, like, I could tell that meant so much to him. Like, I told him that, and Justin, I told them, I need you to know that I have a distributor that was in a long time ago and then coming back. And that was one of the very first things I remember Steve talking about when he was assigned CEO. He said the first thing that needs to happen is we have to have alignment as a corporate staff, because they didn't have it. So for that to be shown in the way that it was, and for them to be so attentive and intuitive to really hearing us and listening to us, like, their heart is with this company. And I trust Steve Fife. I trust him because I love the fact that you don't know what you don't know. And I thought I loved the other guys. And then when you get a step up like Steve, you realize what you were missing. And I feel like what we were missing with Steve was authenticity, because Steve is telling us he knows exactly where we're at. He knows it's going to take time, but he believes in the vision of us getting to $1 billion company. And you guys, I need you to hear that, because I need you to understand and realize that you are smart enough and you were blessed enough for somebody to give you this opportunity to be in right now, when we are only a quarter of a way there. Because you have to imagine what it's going to be like when that boom happens and then we get to $1 billion. Every single one of your lives can completely change. They can change overnight, but they're not going to change overnight unless we do the work, unless we start planting the seeds, dropping those acorns, like Rye Fry says, over and over and over again. And that's exactly what Carrie Dickey was trying to explain to us with the Macarena at the end. And Dot said that, like, get out of your head and just keep doing the work. Like, just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. ITT, just keep doing it. And the convention replay is in your email. Use that as your personal development every single day. Say you're going to listen to a session, or you're going to listen to a breakout. There's lots of breakouts, and there's one on the app. Use that as your personal development that you're going to check off on your DMO every single day. And don't stop listening until you've gone through all of it. And then go through it again, because those are the necessary things to give you the skill set you need and the belief you need in this company and talking to other people to move you ahead to get to Croatia. Okay, Colleen, share, babe. I can't hear you. Sounds like we should be able to, but you're unmuted.
Well,
there we go.
I took out my AirPods. So I've been to, I think, all but maybe one global since I got in 2014. And I sat on the couch last night with my husband, just watching football and just kind of winding down. And I couldn't get my mind off of the convention and moving forward and going to Croatia and reaching Pro 5 and moving on. And you guys, I haven't felt that for a long time. It was so exciting. I just was kind of staring at the screen of the TV going, I haven't felt this for so long. This is so awesome. And the other thing is that I took away, and I told Tanya this convention, it wasn't fluff coming from a cloud. The energy was grounded. It was grounded energy from the earth. And I just felt that there really, truly was going to be this growth, that you just feel it's coming. And we were told that before. And yeah, you had the energy and yeah, you got excited, but it wasn't grounded. This is grounded. And I'm just excited to move forward.
Wow. That's good, Colleen. Really good. I feel it different for you. I really do. Our little squirrel getting on the ground. Great share. Thank you. Okay, you guys, with that, okay, it's 8 o'clock. So I just we're going to talk about Croatia every single week. I'm going to play that folk music every single week. Maybe I'll find Croatia pop. I don't know, but we're going to embed it into our minds. One thing I want to encourage you to do is, if you have people within your area that are a part of Team Act, so in Idaho, this Friday night, we're going to gather at Colleen's, and we are going to bring poster boards, and we're going to have a Road to Croatia party, and we're going to map it out. We're going to find screensavers to put on our phones, and we're going to we're going to put the maps on our poster board or whatever it is that we bring, and just really drive it home that it's going to happen for us. And I want that to happen for you too. If you do not have someone locally that you could be the one to step up and say, let's make this happen, and reach out to people in your area, then reach out to me and we'll talk about it and we'll map it out together. I'm going to work on some things this week that might help. But the other thing I know that will happen along the way as well, to get those 250 points, to be a Pro 4 by June of 2022, that's your starting point. So telling yourself by June of 2022, Pro 4, and then working backwards, right? And as you work backwards, what does that look like to get you those 250 points? But also making sure that as you do that, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, knowing that along the way, the company will probably have special promotions, right? So maybe when the new Axio flavor comes out, did you guys all see from my Elite thing? Peppermint stick. It's good. It's good cold, but it's going to be really good hot, especially like with a couple dumps of hot cocoa. Healthy hot cocoa. Hello. Right? What a great stocking stuffer. And it's such a cute little bag. It's a bag just like the spiced plum. Anyway, we have to be talking to as many people as possible. And again, it doesn't mean dumping all over them and sharing right away, because we're going to feel eager. We're going to feel like we have a little FOMO because we want to get there so badly. It just means you're going to need to be talking to more people than you ever have before, creating relationships, planting seeds, building trust, getting to know their story, and then giving them a solution to the problems that they have when the time permits, right? Doing that over and over and over again, and using the tools and keeping it super simple. So that's our plan for Friday night. I think it'd be super fun if some of you did that as well. And again, if you can't do it, but you want to talk about it and what Croatia looks like, let me know. And then the last thing too, Philippines. We are going to be launching into the Philippines in November. And I think there is a beautiful, beautiful opportunity there to have yourself an international business by launching into that country. I put a post up and I just said, I'm looking for connections in the Philippines. And it has started a couple of conversations. That is imagine connecting with someone and giving them the opportunity of a lifetime to launch a country with LifeVantage, to be the first in. Being the first in the United States created Pro 10s. That can happen in the Philippines, okay? So somebody knows somebody knows somebody. So put it out there, right? Make that post and see what happens. You just never know. Okay. All right. We'll end in prayer and then we'll go right into our WHAM meeting. We'll just have the WHAM people stay on and then the rest can jump off. Let's pray, you guys. Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for the safety of everyone that went to Global Convention. I thank you so much for just this team and for LifeVantage and the way that you just continually have your hand on it. It is just such a blessing. And I just know that there are big, big things ahead for us, for this company, and for all the people that we have yet to bring in. I just know that this is only the beginning. So I just pray that all of our hearts and minds can stay focused on the big picture, that we can really envision the enormity of what we have our hands on, and that we can envision the just the abundance that you have created us to have. Help us to believe in that. Help us to go after that unabashedly and without fear. And even through the fear, help us to continue to work through it, because we know that you have equipped us to be here for such a time as this, to share with many, many people and to change our lives so that we can create this amazing ripple effect and change the lives of other people. So help us to keep believing and to continue to keep working and just serving people in a really, really big way. We give it all back to you. We thank you so much for everything. In your name we pray. Amen. Okay. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. Oh, I'm so excited. Everybody have a great night. Bye.